You guys, this is quite simply a game changer. That's it. There's no way around it. This will change the way you look at everything. Proceed with caution. Because as much as this will change your life, it's probably going to stress you out a little bit too. The law of exposure, what's been exposed cannot be unexposed. Once you realize what you're associating different activities with, different things you eat, different things you drink, once this all comes to light, it's like, shit. There's no coming back from this. Before we get into it, I do want to let you know that my socks and my underwear right now are as wet as if I got out of a pool. And the reason for that is because it was leg day. If your leg days are not ending and you completely soaked through your clothes, I firmly believe you're doing your leg days incorrectly. But that's neither here nor there. That's not really the topic of today's video. But if you do need help ramping up your training to the next level, getting the very best results you have ever experienced in the gym, all of your nutrition, top to bottom, front to back, done for you, no questions left unanswered, and someone to hold you accountable that's been coaching for 5 years, coached thousands of clients, and knee deep in this stuff, send me a DM on Instagram. Okay. Association. We all associate everything we do, everything we consume, with something, either a good time or a bad time, right? And this might be on a conscious or an unconscious level, but we are all doing this. This is why we do the things we do. We don't do things that are negative because we think they're negative. Somehow our brains, our minds have navigated the maze to find, no, this is actually good. Yeah, on paper there's all these negatives, but I've found it to be quite good. If you associate eating until you're red in the face and your resting heart rate is thumping at 110, you feel your abdomen so pushed out that you have to switch your breathing to manual mode. Saw this meme about some dude hitting a bong, and it's like when you switch your breathing to manual mode. That shit is hilarious. Yep, been there. If you eat so much that you're literally uncomfortable, but you associate that with a good time, with whoo-hoo, it's fun, with brain blasting dopamine, the ice cream, the cookies, if I layer them and then smash up the cookies and then just keep going down the hatch, it's fun. I've done that. It's the ice cream cookie parfait. What you know about that? Have you done it? If you associate that with more of a good time than a bad time, you're probably going to do it often, at least at some intervals. If you associate that with being a fat fuck, and you associate being a fat fuck with being a loser, you probably won't do it. Or at least not as often, or very rarely. Or if you really associate that with some negative shit, you won't do it at all. And guess what? They're both true. This is where it really is up to us to decide, what are we going to highlight? What are we going to focus on? They're both true. Eating ice cream and cookies will give you so much brain-bursting, orgasmic mouth sensation. You're just like, hee, 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 hee. That is true. And it's also true that if you do that somewhat often, you'll probably be a fat fuck. They're both true. Drinking alcohol can make you feel so relaxed, so at peace. You feel it go down into your chest and then into your belly. And then if you're really sipping on some nice top shelf tequila, some Patron Añejo, some Don Julio, you'll feel it go down into your big toe. You'll feel the stress leave your body. You will feel extreme peace after a certain amount of that. And then the next day, you will be less mentally sharp. You will be less physically prepared for that day. You will have some excess water weight and weight gain, especially if this is at a high frequency, a high interval, done multiple times throughout the week. So, and this is where it's difficult, they're both true. Which one are you going to focus on? Which one are you going to associate with? Are you going to associate that top shelf tequila with a good time or a bad time? Are you going to associate it with the positive effects or the negative effects? This is where we have to really dive deep, because there are other things where it's just very obvious, like hard drugs. No one in their right mind is like, well, there are some pros. I'm aware of the negatives. I have some teeth missing. There's not many left in my mouth, but like that shit is so, that's a whole nother world. Like extremely negative things. Like you go into some freaking hoarder's house and they're like, yeah, it's up to my waist, the trash. But on the bright side, there is no fucking bright side to being a hoarder. So that's a totally different scenario. The challenging topics, the challenging things to overcome are where there is objectively some benefits, some pros. Because it's going to be a lot easier for your mind to be like, come on, dude, it's actually a good time. Let's go do that. And yet, the negative effects of whatever that thing is are also true. They're both true. Which one are you going to focus on? Are you going to associate X thing with its positive qualities or its negative qualities? And a lot of this has to do with how often you're doing this thing too, right? I had that how to overcome video game addiction video, right? If I associate playing video games with just being like the biggest fucking loser on planet Earth at any frequency, like once a month or once a week for 20 minutes, I don't know about all that. Is that really taking away from what I'm doing on here and what I'm doing in my real life? I don't know about all that, but if I'm doing it every day for 30 minutes, 100%. If I'm doing it every day for an hour, now I'm massively taking back steps and not getting to my goal on a positive timeline. If I'm doing it 4 hours on a daily basis, that's a wrap on your vision. Unless your vision is to play video games for hours every day. About to go too deep into that tangent on that topic. So a lot of it has to do with, okay, this thing has good and bad qualities. How often can I do it? How little can I do it? Where perhaps I can extract some of those positive qualities, and I'm doing it so rarely that those negative qualities aren't really compounding over time and giving me a negative result. The problem with that is how many people are really doing that with things that have those positive and negative qualities. Usually it's a slippery slope. No, I'm focused on the positive, so I'll do it once a week. And then, well, yeah, it is, okay, I did it yesterday, but I really want to do it today. I'm still focused on the positive quality, so let's do it one more day. You can see how that can be a slippery slope. Whereas things that are inherently positive, inherently have no downsides, if you just fill up your day with as many of those things as possible, you're not even going to have time to suffer over the decision making of doing things that might be good, might be bad. That's honestly the biggest hack, is just be so busy doing positive things that have little to no downsides, you don't even have the time to worry about should I or should I not on some slippery slope type of shit. That's the hack. But look, things that have these positive and negative qualities, what are you focusing on? The good part of it or the bad part of it? If you focus on the good part of it, you're way more likely to do it, and now you're having more of those negative parts that come with it. And if you focus on the negative part of it, if you associate that thing as being negative, you're way less likely to do it. And then, as I'm saying that, well, on the flip side, now you're missing out on those positive things. That's true. That's true. Now, what if we replaced it altogether with something that is only positive, so we don't have to suffer over this bullshit in the first fucking place? I think that's the real hack, y'all. That's what I wanted to tell y'all today. I hope that was helpful. I'll see you in the next one.